Hello everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter. Today's topic is going to be decluttering your quilt room. Have you ever been into a store that has so many things in it that you can't look around, you can't hardly move around, and you certainly can't shop? Well, I've been in those types of stores and our quilt rooms can begin to look like those stores. Why do those stores look like that? Because they have too much stuff in them. They have too much inventory. And I believe that's what happens with our quilt rooms. We simply have too much inventory, too much stuff in our quilt rooms. So today we're going to be focusing on getting rid of some of those things that we really don't need that are just cluttering up our space. So today I'm going to be sharing 15 tips plus one bonus tip if you watch to the very end on things that you can get rid of your quilt room to help declutter your space and keep it decluttered. Now the quilt behind me is another UFO that I finished, and I'll put some pictures up of the 3 UFOs that I've recently finished. I finished my husband's fishing quilt, my granddaughter's farm quilt, and then my newest granddaughter's little quilt for Grandma's house. Just a reminder, all the t-shirts that I wear can be found at the website listed below, and be sure to use the coupon code for 15% off on all quilting and sewing apparel. Number 1, get rid of the trash in your quilt rooms. Yes, we have lots of trash in our quilt rooms. Let me give you some examples of some of the things that are in my quilt rooms. I have sticky notes that I have written on all over my quilt room. I write these notes and stick them in places, and I'll use them, but I never throw them away. So I need to get rid of sticky notes. One thing that I do on an ongoing basis to keep my pen holder decluttered is when I bend a pen, I put it in my discard container. These are just little gum containers, and I use these to discard my sharps, like my rotary cutters and my pins. So that keeps my little pen holder free of clutter, so that I know I don't have to waste time hunting for straight pins. I know that all the pins in here are straight. Okay, get rid of broken items. This is a little OT lamp. I love this lamp, but I broke the lamp changing the bulb. And the little thing that holds the bulb in place, or helps hold the bulb in place, broke. And I was going to keep this lamp. But no, I'm not. Number 1, I don't think it's safe now. I certainly don't want to catch anything on fire. And I have found another lamp that I want to replace this one with. So I'm getting rid of these things to help declutter my room. So again, number 1 is get rid of the trash. Number 2 is get rid of shop bags and little bags that you've kept from quilt shops. These are cute little bags, but I have had these in my quilt room for a long time. These are 2 containers that I can get rid of. Now, am I just going to throw these away? No. I work with the lady who saves these, so I'll be taking all of these to her. And then I'll have 2 containers that I'll be able to also get out of my quilt space. Okay, number 3 is get rid of the things that don't belong in your quilt space. For example, I have a portion of my bookcase that I use to hold some of my cookbooks, and I'm getting those out. I'm putting those with my other cookbooks. These don't belong in my quilt room. Also, I have notebooks that hold our health information, and I am putting those where our important papers go, and it's not going to be in my quilt room. So remove all those things that aren't related to your hobby, whether it's crafting, quilting, sewing, whatever. Move those things to the locations in your house with other like items. Number 4, get rid of ugly fabrics. Yes, get rid of them. Now I'm going to be donating these for dog beds. Donate them. Make them into a dog bed. Get them out of your quilt room. Now, some people save these ugly fabrics for the backs of their quilts. No, don't save them for that, because if you have this beautiful quilt and you put ugly fabric on the back, what do you have? You have a beautiful quilt top with an ugly quilt back. So get rid of those ugly fabrics. Number 5, get rid of old patterns that you know you're never going to use. Now, I would recommend you go through your patterns every so often to purge those ones that you don't like and donate them. My daughter-in-law is learning to quilt and she wanted some of them. The others I'll send to our local quilt guild to see if anybody there would like them. So get rid of those patterns. Don't hold on to them. They're simply taking up space and just giving you more items to manage in your quilt room. Okay, number 6 is get rid of your old magazines. Now for me, this is an ongoing process. I have one small space that I keep my magazines in, and when that gets full, I have to get rid of some. So pass them on to your friends, donate them to your local quilt guild, but don't keep them in your quilt room, piling up, taking up space. Number 7, get rid of storage containers that don't fit your space or that are not serving a good purpose in your space. For example, now this is a cute little bobbin holder, but I have other ways to store my bobbins that I like better. And I was going to hang on to it because I just think it's darling, but it's not functional in my space. So I'm donating that. Also, just these little containers that are just super cute that you think you're going to use for storage, but they end up just taking up counter space and cluttering up your room. So again, number 7, get rid of those storage containers that don't fit and work in your quilt space. Okay, number 8, get rid of utility bags that you're not using or that you don't plan to use. For example, this is a super cute little bag, but the problem is I can't see through it. And if I can't see through it, I don't really know what's in there. And that's the kind of bags that I like nowadays, are ones that you can see through. So I am getting rid of the bags. Some of these are brand new bags that I can't see through. Because as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm a person that does not like to dig. So get rid of all those bags that you're holding on to because they're just taking up important quilt space in your room as well as your mind. Number 9, go through your kits and get rid of the ones that you never intend to finish, like this one. I never intend to finish this. However, my daughter-in-law could use the fabric in here to start her a scrap bin or practice making blocks with. So that kit is going. And as I dig a little deeper, I may come across 1 or 2 more. But it's okay. If you know you're not going to use those kits or ever finish them, don't hold on to them. Pass them to somebody who could benefit from them. Number 10 is get rid of old wall hangings. I have been hanging on to some of these wall hangings. Some of these are the very first ones I made. Now, some of them are sentimental, and I may hold on to the first 4 or 5 that I made, but I have made tons of wall hangings, and many of them I have more than one of, so get rid of them. And I recently had a stack, and I decided, I'm from a large family, so I decided I would offer them to my brothers and sisters, and they took them all. If you don't have brothers and sisters, give them to your friends. Your friends will love them and enjoy them, but don't hang on to all those quilt hangings that you've made over the years. I've just been quilting for so long, we just can't possibly hold on to everything. Plus, there are new wall hangings I want to make and use in my home. Number 11 is get rid of quilt journals that you're not using, that you haven't used in the past several years, and that you never intend to use. So don't hold on to these quilt journals and let them pile up in your quilt space, taking up important space, just pass them on. Number 12 is get rid of your notepads and your notebooks that are piling up in your room. I started to look at all the notepads I had in my quilt room. There are a ton, and I have my favorites, and there are those that I never use. Look at all these that I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of all these. And all of these. Just notepads. You don't have to get rid of them all, but get rid of those that aren't your favorite. Now, I know these aren't my favorite because some of them have the wrappers on them and I've never used them and I don't intend to use them. But you know what? My granddaughter loves to scribble on these, and I'm going to fix a little thing up for her and give it to her where she can just, like a little pre-handwriting kit. So that's what I'm going to do with some of these, and the others I'm just going to donate. And get rid of notepads. Look at all these notepads. Yeah, they're cute, but am I using them? No. So I'm going to give some of these to my granddaughter just to write and scribble in, and then I'm just going to put the rest out for whoever might want them. Now, did I get rid of all of them? No, I kept my favorites. So keep your favorites, donate, and get rid of the rest. Just look at that stack that I'm going to be able to get out of my quilt room. Number 13, get rid of the pins that are dried up in your pen holder. And even more important, get rid of the ones that you don't like, because I have some in this container that I really never pick out of here. And the reason I don't pick them out of here is because I don't like them. I like to write with medium black pens that write smooth and make a dark mark. And these right here don't, so I can get rid of these. Get rid of ones that are broken, that don't have ink in them, and that'll free up some space in your pen holder. And at this point, I think I can give these to my granddaughter, because I don't think it matters to her whether it's medium or fine point yet. These will be going in her little kit. Number 14, get rid of scraps that you know you're never going to sew with, those that are too small, or fabrics that you can't, you know, aren't going to go with others. For example, the quilt, one of the quilts that I finished, I used this binding. It's kind of a novelty print. I know I'm not going to use it with anything else, so I'm going to put that in my dog bed bag. And I know that when I'm cutting fabrics, if I have anything smaller than a 2.5 inch strip or 2.5 inch square, I don't use them. The smallest pieces that I will use are 2.5 inch strips. So get rid of the rest, and I really do this on an ongoing basis because I have my little scrap bin for my dog beds. Okay, number 15, we're getting close to the end. I have one bonus tip after this one. But 15, get rid of your old tote bags that you don't like or that you know you're not going to use. I don't know about you, but I have tons of them. Now, here's one that I got when we went to Walt Disney World, and I really like it, but it's not very practical for using for me. My granddaughter loves Mickey Mouse, so I'm going to give this to her. And you know what? I just had this great idea to put the little notebooks, the notepads, and the pens in here, and she can have them all together with this. But just, you know, this is super cute, and I like this, but because the way it zips, it just makes it hard for me to get things in and out of. So this is one that I'll be giving up. And I know all of you won't have all of these things in your quilt room. Some of you might. Maybe if you've been quilting a long, long time. But there are lots of things we can get out of our quilt room and completely get rid of to free up, again, our space and our minds for more productive quilting. Okay, now this is the bonus tip, and that is to get rid of your sewing machines that are old, that are broken, that are of lower quality than what you're used to quilting on. I just recently purchased a Juki. I have my Bernina that I love. I've been holding on to this sewing machine because my parents bought me this when I was a teenager. But you know what? I'm going to pass this on. I never used this, and I learned how to sew on this. I learned a little bit of how to sew on this when I took home economics so many years ago in junior high school. But I'm going to pass this on to a charitable organization that can get some use out of it, because it's not doing any good just sitting around in my quilt space. I've recently had it serviced, so it's in good working order. I still have the instruction manual, and I am going to pass that on and all of the accessories that go with this again to a charitable organization. Now that is 16 things that you can get out of your quilt room to free up space and to help you keep your quilt room more organized. Remember, when we have too much stuff in our quilt spaces, that's when things get piled up and cluttered up. Get rid of some of those items. You can start today. Just get started. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Please share with a friend. And as always, please leave a comment below. I love to get the comments. If you have suggestions you would like to, if you have additional suggestions for me on decluttering your quilt space, please be sure to include those in the comments below. And until next time, have fun quilting.